This is Central Texas Living with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Living, the podcast. I'm Ann Harder, and it is fall, and that means it's Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo time. And I'm so happy to introduce you to Sharon Ingram, who is the Marketing Vice President and Director of Sponsorship Development, correct? I think I sort of mixed up the words a little bit.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It's
Either
sort
way,
of the
yeah,
meaning,
marketing and sponsorship. That's what I do.
The meaning is there, and Sharon, I mean, this is a big year for the fair because it didn't happen last year.
It is. We are so excited. I call it the full meal deal. So obviously in 2020, with COVID being what it was, we had to modify is how we presented it, which meant we were able to still have our livestock show for the kids. That's one of the most important things we do. And then we had food trucks out in our Lake Air parking lot.
I remember
so you
that.
could still come get some of those tasty treats. Mm-hmm. And then we were allowed to have the rodeo at 50% capacity.
Yeah.
But the carnival and the other attractions,
the Midway
the
and all
petting
that.
zoo, all those things that you've known to come and love, like we weren't able to do. And this year, it is all back in full force, and we're so excited.
Well, and what's good, too, is that you also have a whole new building that is completed, the base. Let's talk about that. Now, first of all, what does BASE stand for?
So BASE stands for Business, Arts, Sports, and Entertainment. All the things we hope to host and use that building for, as well as it's a nice nod to the airfield and back in the day, that land and how it was used.
Mm-hmm. Right, absolutely. And is it that kind of where folks will go in? Is that like an entry point or not?
It's not an entry point, but it is. So there's going to be 4 entry points. So the main one that I think a lot of people like see when you drive by Bosque, it's going to be Bosque Gate.
It is going to be the Bosque Gate.
Yes, there's that new wrought iron fence that's been put up kind of between the Coliseum and the base. And so that will be opened and there will be entry points there, as well as they'll be at the opposite end if you are a carnival person and you park in the back grass lot that used to be the driving range.
Kind of next to the high school back over in
There's
there.
an entrance there. There is another entrance right by the high school on the kind of opposite side of Lake Air. I never remember the street name. And then there's also a VIP entrance on the Lake Air side.
Yeah, and so, the parking is, a little bit different.
It is a little bit different.
It has been in years past, too.
So public parking is going to be kind of in the grass lot that still remains to the other side of the base, like you've been used to, as well as, like I said, the driving range is going to be, those are going to be our 2 main public parking lots. It's $5 for parking. There will be a limited amount of spots available in front of the base if you want to pay $10. If that convenience is important to you and you don't mind spending an extra couple of bucks, then as long as there's spots available, that'll be an option.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. Well, there are a lot of exciting things that will be happening with the fair and rodeo this year. Let's talk about that. What the things that are going to be different from years past.
So things that are going to be different. First of all, we'll start off with the base. You asked about that being an entry point. It is not an entry point, but it is right there at that front entrance with the Bosque.
Can't miss it.
You cannot miss it. And you're going to want to go in there because there are several awesome things happening in there. First of all, one of the first things you're going to see when you enter in is what we call Doorways to Ag, which is a brand new interactive agricultural display by Texas Farm Bureau. This is their first unveiling of the full thing. We got it instead of State Fair, so that's a really big deal.
Wow.
And then we've got the shopping. We've really tried to up our shopping game and make that part of your destination and coming to the Heart of Texas Fair and Rodeo. And so they'll be partnered with Big Top Entertainment. So there'll be about 100 vendor booths in there that you can visit and shop and get all kinds of different treats and wearables.
It's like clothes and things that normally, when I think of the General Exhibits Building, or even the fine, I mean, it wasn't so much
kind of a
that. It
hodgepodge.
was like, water purification. And I'm just trying to think of some of those kind of folks still be there.
Sign my petition. Yes, no.
Yeah.
We're
as a matter of fact. And no politicos, right?
No politicos. We have said no to that just because we really want this to be a positive, upbeat, family-friendly experience. And sometimes those things can turn a little, a little sour, and that's just not the atmosphere that we're wanting to create.
Yeah, because sometimes you'd have the Republican booth and the Democrat booth.
Yeah, they'd always end up right by each other.
Yeah, not too far from each other, and that got to be interesting.
You needed security just for that. Yeah.
Well, so that, that is kind of a big change, but, it's going to make it, a kind of as you say, a different air, a different atmosphere. Yeah. So shopping, I'm always all about that.
I know. Like I taught one of my kids early on, shopping, she'd say. Away we go.
Well, one of the best things I ever got at the fair in shopping, and it was over kind of in the Red Barn area.
Okay.
We had gone to do the celebrity goat roping thing. This was some years ago.
Yes.
But somebody had a booth and had, there were rain boots, but they looked like real bright, colorful cowboy boots.
Okay.
And I bought a pair, and I have worn them for years, and they're wonderful. So you find, and they weren't expensive. I mean, it was really, it was one of the best buys I ever made was my cowboy rain boots.
Awesome. Yeah, no, those are cute. I'll have to look for something like that. Yeah, no, we have some great vendors all over the place, and we will still have some vendors over there that kind of cater more towards that Western livestock show type, look and feel of things over there in that kind of concourse area in the show pavilion. But yes, the base will have a lot of new things that you haven't seen as far as shopping. The hometown stage is also going to be in there.
Now that's neat because those little performers will be in air conditioning.
They'll be covered in an air conditioning.
Yeah, that's
now,
good.
Right now the weather is looking really great for us, but in years past, sometimes that has created a challenge for them. And then we have another exhibit called Playing with Giants. And again, it's kind of a nod towards agriculture. It's supersized games, like supersized Jenga and Connect 4 and other things like that. So it's a great, if you're a mom shopping, and your kid is kind of nagging at you, like, come on, mom,
not too
come
happy
on, mom.
being there.
You can feel safe, and they can go over there and they can play those games while you can shop and enjoy
neat.
that and watch what's happening on the hometown stage, because there'll also be another act. Farmer Phil will be also filling some time on that hometown stage. So there'll be a lot happening in there. I definitely encourage everybody to go check it all out.
Well, just to check it out and see that beautiful building. I mean, it is such a wonderful addition.
They did a good job.
It just seemed like it's been years that we've been anticipating it. And so here, this is the year. This is when we're going to get to really enjoy it. But, your acts, let's talk, a lot of folks, really want to know what the music's going to be. So you've got some really good music offerings.
We think
you
so.
Really do.
We're really excited about it with the Bud Light Music Stage. We know that we have a big Texas country crowd out here. So we try to accommodate with that with some of our openers. But we also know that a lot of these really beloved Texas country artists perform at a lot of local bars any given month. And so we wanted to provide something that you just can't see every day in Central Texas. That was really important to us to kind of make that an important attraction aspect of what we were doing this year. So we have Chris Jansen kicking us off on Friday night. And then coming in on Saturday is going to be Jameson Rogers, which may not be a super household familiar name yet, but if you look him up, you will definitely recognize songs. And in fact, he has a hit one on the radio right now, Cold Beer Calling My Name with Luke Combs. So we're excited to have him.
So kind of a rising
I think, star. Hopefully we're catching him on the way up, you know?
And that's good. That's
he's got a great sound, and I think it'll be a really good night. And then we come back. There will be a Hispanic band on Sunday night with our Mexican Rodeo Spectacular happening in the Coliseum. We come back Thursday night with Tracy Lawrence. I think Carson Jeffries is opening for him. And then Friday night is the TikTok craze of Fancy Like Mr. Walker Hayes himself. So we're excited to have him and Mike Lee.
Now, you might need to explain a little bit more about that to me.
So, I am not a big TikToker, but I do see it coming across. And I think even Applebee's used this for their next commercial.
Really?
So he has the song Fancy Like.
Okay.
And he and his daughter, I guess, in COVID, whatever, decided to create a little dance to go with it. And it just blew.
Yeah, bigger than viral.
And
whatever
then,
that is.
and then everybody is doing their own version with the dance with their friends or their coworkers or whatever. I mean, I would say look up Fancy Like and you'll see.
Okay, there you go.
A bazillion little videos there. So he has definitely kind of shot the charts, and he really sits on both the country chart and the pop chart right now with that song. So
wow, quite the crossover artist.
I know, and we're gonna have two good openers for him: Gabe Lee and Jack Ingram, who's a classic. I remember listening to him in college and following him around. And then on Saturday night, it is Joe Nichols. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's been at the fair before.
He has. Yeah. It's been a few years, but yes.
Yeah, I remember hearing. In fact, I think he played at the the preview media event.
Oh, that might have been before me, but
it was a while ago. But yeah,
we need to start doing that again. Huh. I like that. So, and then opening for him is going to be Mike Ryan, who's a great Texas country artist. So I think it's a really strong lineup, and I'm super excited to get out there and watch the concerts.
Well, and you always have fun stuff on the Midway, and I had my experience with the baboon a couple of years ago.
I remember that. He was friendly.
He was so funny. There's a picture of him right behind me with these teeth, and I thought if I really knew what was going on, I might not have been so calm about it.
Hey, the monkey.
But it was fun. It was fun. I mean, you always have those kind of fun things.
We do. We look for new and exciting things that we haven't had here. Either it's been a long time since it's been here, or it's something we've never had. There's always a wide variety of acts to choose from. This year we've got, it's called the Flores Family Thrill Show. They were actually
Tell me about that.
I know. They were actually on America's Got Talent season 6, and they have what they call the Globe of Death. So they get in this big metal globe and they race motorcycles, and it's like 8th, 9th generation. So it's family. It's a family show. Like, it's family that are participating, kind of an acrobatic motorcycle racing, daredevil type thing, which I'm really excited. I missed them on America's Got Talent, but I'm excited to see them here on our fairgrounds.
Yeah. I mean, that's those kind of daredevil things. People always
I know. Yeah.
interested in seeing that.
And when I was a kid, they always sounded fun to do. But the older I get, I'm like,
oh, no. Yeah. I was saying,
do you have any, to heal these days?
Any news anchors in the Globe of Death with them for media fun?
Not yet. We'll see who raises their hand.
We'll see who wants to do that. Yeah, the goat roping was enough for me back in the day.
Yeah.
So are you doing that kind of thing?
So we are, the goat roping has become kind of a challenge for us because the way our rodeo changed. We are 5 nights of PRCA rodeo, but we've got it focused on the weekends. So when we had the All-American, it was going every night but Monday night, and we had those cowboys on the grounds where we could just pull from them to come and rope.
Because you needed an expert helping you. I know that's
you
true.
need somebody that knows what they're doing. So you can just kind of throw your rope and catch them. But so without having that to pull from, that one becomes a little bit challenging. So we're working on some new ideas and things that we may be able to bring something like that back, but different.
Yeah. Well, I know, of course, in the past, the different TV stations would be involved. And I know Channel 10 is doing something with their Food for Families.
So, we're going to help get that kind of kicked off, I think, a little bit earlier for them and be able to.
Right, because it's normally closer to Thanksgiving, but
and be able to promote that. So that'll be another promotional day where you can save $5 on a ticket if you don't buy it ahead online. And you can bring a canned food item, and you can get a deal and help a family that is in need of food and come have a great time and maybe try some new food that we've got on the fairgrounds. All about, it's all about family and food and fun, all the good F's,
That's one way to put it. Well, I love your theme. I'm wearing my shirt, big and bright.
Thank you.
Which is like as in the stars at night are big and bright. Yeah, that's right. You can't help but sing the little tune. This was your brainchild?
So, we kind
I heard I was credited to you by
every year.
One of your colleagues.
Yeah. Every year I am challenged to come up with a new theme. And, of course, I kind of get my peers involved and have them kind of think through and brainstorm. But we just really felt like we used neon lights last year. We didn't have a full theme because we didn't have a full fair. But
right.
I really loved that kind of neon look and feel and the idea of things being bright. And so Big and Bright was kind of born from that, as well as the fact that it's just, we're coming out of 2020 and we are into 2021, and we just, we know people want to get out, and we want to be a place that is really a shining star for them and something that they're able to come and enjoy and feel good about and have fun. And when I think about what that needs to look like, I think about it being big and bright, and something that's just very welcoming. So that's how we got there.
Well, of course, the fair, as I was a little kid growing up, it was you have these markers through the year, and the fair was always, one of those big ones because, of course, the parade, which doesn't happen anymore, but you always look forward to the Heart of Texas Fair parade and to see the horses and the whole thing. And then, and then at homecoming and Halloween and, all the holidays, the big days. But the fair always was such a big thing for the children. So you've got lots of stuff for kiddos.
We do. I mean, we want it to be very kid friendly, very family focused. Because if you come as a parent, your kids are if they're not being entertained, you're not going to stay very long. So we have, of course, the petting zoo is probably one of our most popular attractions, and it's brought to us by Pilgrim's Pride this year. We have other shows. Like I said, we've got Farmer Phil on the hometown stage. We have the Swifty Swine pig races, which is
are you going to have pig?
Yeah, which is so cute,
fun.
and they're so fun. The names they come up with, and getting them to race for that Oreo, and then little baby Swifty swimming in the pool at the end. It never gets old for me to watch.
Yeah.
We also have a guy called the Circus Man, who is like a unicycle comedian, entertainer, juggler. But what he juggles is knives and fire and crazy things you would tell your kids to never play with at home. But it's so entertaining, and he manages to make it all fun and
No,
comical.
he's not doing the rodeo.
No, he'll be out, and he'll actually do his show on the Bud Light Music Stage when we don't have concerts going on. So he'll kind of be during the day and early evening before all that kicks off there. So you can find him there. There's a schedule online, and there'll be a schedule out on the grounds. So if that's something that you want to stop and watch, we highly encourage it. The Sweethearts will be out face painting and doing things with the kiddos, and H.E. Buddy Barnyard is back and in full flair and all the good stuff that you've known and loved, as well as all the carnival rides.
So much stuff. Well, we're going to take a little break. When we come back, though, we're going to hear a little bit more about what we'll expect at the fair, and how you're taking precautions, because I know folks are still kind of concerned about COVID. So stay with us. Sharva, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm April.
Hey, I'm Caroline, and this is Bloody Happy Hour.
Your newest true crime comedy podcast.
So grab your favorite drink and join us every week for Thirsty Thursday.
We promise to tell you the bloodiest stories and give you a laugh in between. Go find us, follow us, and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, because guess what?
We're about to be sipping on some murder.
F-Bomb. This is Mandy and the F-Bomb, where we shed light on stories and invite you to find your place and purpose in the world of foster care. Through my involvement with families involved in foster care and being a foster mom myself, I've learned that it's the things that wreck us the most profoundly that can stitch us back together into the best, purpose-filled versions of ourselves. Tune in to Mandy and the F-Bomb. It's stories that invite you in to find your place and purpose in the world of foster care. You can find us anywhere you get podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
I'm back with Sharva Ingram, who is the HOT Fair Vice President for Marketing and Sponsor Development. As you said, it is a mouthful, but you've been with the fair now for several years.
I have. So I have been there 8 years, but this is my 9th fair because I started in August of 2013, which is it's a crazy time to start this job, but the best, because once you live through it and you can see it, then it helps you kind of get ready for the next year. Even
You
more.
jumped in with both feet, for sure. Well, so what has been your biggest takeaway for the years of the fair that you've been so intimately involved with it?
That's a great question. I really think that for me, it's so impressive the number of volunteers, the people that really
500, right? Or more.
Over 500 volunteers, and then you have that core group that this is not their job. This is just what they do because they love it. They love what we stand for, being that we're trying to give scholarships to kids and promote ag education, and they are there every time we need them. And they're the reason we can do what we do. And so I think that's probably been one of the most impressive things to me. And they're so consistent. There are some names that have been there, well before I came, and they'll probably be well after me. They're just great volunteers.
Well, you have a load of volunteers. You have you mentioned the Sweethearts of the rodeo. And is that what?
Yeah,
the name is now?
The Sweethearts.
Yeah, originally Dub King started out the Smile Girls, the Heart of Texas Fair Smile Girls, and I think I was maybe the second year he did
amazing.
that. But as a high school student, and it was so much fun, and I really got just so grounded in the fair, and not that I didn't already, have a great love for the Heart of Texas Fair, but this is the kind of thing. It's important to the area economically as well. What kind of numbers can you share with us?
It is. So what we've known from studies in the past is that it's about a $12 million economic impact just from the fair, people coming and spending their money, obviously, and we're very grateful for that. The event center as a whole, year round, when we are full force and having horse shows happening almost every weekend and everything else, it's about $47 million of an economic impact. And with the base, we expect that to probably get closer to 60. Especially as more like youth sports are able to come, and you've got those hotel stays overnight and all that other that comes with them being here for the weekend. So
It's incredible.
So yeah, we think it's a big job, and we don't take it lightly because we know that serving this community is important to us.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, having the facility and for it to be in such pristine shape and so beautiful. And as I mentioned earlier, it was something we've kind of been watching happen and anticipating this year. Let's talk just a little bit more though about what you're going to be doing to keep things safe, because I know folks are still kind of concerned about COVID, and I think we're turning in the right direction, number-wise. At least we are as we record this. But are you going to have mask encouragement, or what are you doing about all that?
That's a great question. We have had that from several people. We definitely want anyone and everyone that wants to come to know that they can feel safe on our grounds and that we're doing everything we can do. We're not going to require anybody, but we are encouraging masks if that's what you need to do to feel safe. We're going to have additional hand washing stations, additional hand sanitizer stations out where it's possible, encouraging social distancing. And there's a lot that you can enjoy and stay outside and never have to go in a building if that's important to you. H.E. Buddy Barnyard is outside under a tent this year. Obviously, all of our food vendors are out there. So the carnival's outside. So there's a lot you can do in this Bud Light music stage that you can see and enjoy and be part of, and still kind of be out in that open air and feel good about everything. So,
of course, the rodeo itself is indoors now. How does that work? I know there's a little bit of a change there where the ticketing is concerned.
It is. So we've gone to 5 nights of rodeo, and it's basically built around the weekends, and it is a ticketed event every night. So in the past, you've been able to. Outside of the Saturdays, you've been able to use your fair admission ticket to just kind of wander in and
watch
sit
some
down
rodeo.
and watch a little bit. So that's not the case anymore. You do have to have a ticket. But hopefully we've made it affordable and easy for people. If you have a fair admission ticket and you come to the fair and it's a rodeo night and you're like, man, I want to go see the rodeo, you can visit our box office, and for an additional $10, you're in. You've got a seat. Or if you know that rodeo is part of what you want to do when you come to our fairgrounds, you buy that rodeo ticket, and it includes your fair admission, which also includes the concerts, all the attraction shows, so on and so forth. So there's kind of two ways to approach it, just depending on what you want and when you decide what you want.
Yeah. And of course, the midway, you've got, there are some, how many people do you think, just want to come and ride rides every day?
That's more than you think. That's why we set up an entrance down there. So yeah, for those people, we have what we call a fun pass, where you can buy it for $70. You have admission and a unlimited rides carnival armband all 11 days. So if you were to add that up, if you were to pay those individual prices every day, it's about an 89% savings to just buy it up front for $70. If you come twice, you've made your money back. Come 3 times and you're in the black. You're good. You're golden. So if you're an avid carnival rider, you can buy your carnival. If you just want to come one day and ride unlimited rides, you can buy a $25 band online right now. They're $35 when you get to the gate.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question about something you may not want to answer me.
Okay.
I have heard, and I just heard it moments ago, that there's something called Suicide Night.
So, that is what we now call sneak a peek. I don't know that. I mean, people still refer to it some ways. It hasn't been called that since I have been there, but I do hear it being referred to.
It was news to me.
And it's I think it got that name because it's it's the first night the rides are up, right?
Okay, and make sure all those little bolts are tight and real tight.
It's that tester night to come ride all your favorite rides. Although what I will say for our carnival people, to give people some assurance there, I was the mom that was like, we're not doing those. We go to theme parks, love it. But as I've come to work for the fair and rodeo, and I've come to get to know some of these carnival providers, there's a lot of checks and balances that go on for them. They have to do a safety check on every single ride every time they move it. If it doesn't pass, it doesn't go. So I actually, my kids love that's their only reason they come. They could care less about the rodeo. They could care less about anything else. I'm not sure they even care that much about seeing me. They just want to ride the rides. And, I feel 100% safe in sending them down there and letting them go.
Good. I just thought that was funny because
But
I
yes,
thought,
that is-
somebody's got to test those, right?
Yep. I think this year it's going to be my family because they were so sad they weren't here last year.
Well, I think the media used to that Thursday night before everything opened. So I
Go
think
and,
maybe
yeah,
them
find the
because I know
favorite.
I've done that one. So the media were also, unaware testers as
yeah.
well. But it is such a fun thing, and as you mentioned, going online for tickets, and you are trying to encourage folks to do that rather than have box offices everywhere.
Are. Yeah. Well, I mean, like once you come to the grounds, we will have box offices and ways to get the tickets that you need. But really, I think in this society, I think with COVID, one of the things that has come out of it is people have learned how to use QR codes and really to buy online and kind of minimize that unnecessary touch, meaning like with a ticket and paper and all the transfer there and everything else. And if you buy it online and you download it to your phone, you're the only person really having to manage that till it gets scanned. But again, that touch point is minimal. So it is definitely a savings in the sense of not having to have all that paper. I think it's a savings and a time savings. It makes things easier and go quicker. And so I think you see that a lot of places, but we're definitely trying to get with it, be with the times, be forward thinkers. And so we are trying to drive that online aspect more and more.
And there will also be security at the gate. Folks will be walking through.
They will be wanded and there'll be a bag check. We aren't requiring clear bags, but we are doing bag checks and wanding people.
Yeah, you just want to be certain. Folks want to be sure. Well, it's always delightful to get to talk to you. And
thank you.
I'd like to talk a little bit more about you. I know you went to Baylor.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you from around here?
So my dad was career Army. He was a test pilot, which meant we moved more than the average military family. I was in 13 different schools for 12 years of school.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes we were there for like 2 years and sometimes we were there for 6 months. One time we were there for 2 weeks, but it's fine. Like I don't look back and like I loved it. I got to see a lot of places and do a lot of things that I would not have been able to do otherwise. I mean, we lived in England for 2 years. I went to a British school for a year.
I didn't know that about you. That's wonderful.
So I mean, I got some cool experiences from it, but Texas was home base. So my dad's parents were in Abilene. When you're in the military, you pick one state as your residency state. So no matter where we went, we called ourselves Texans.
Of course, they have the big, Dias? That's, what is it?
Dias
Abilene?
is in Abilene, yeah, but my dad was Army, so he was never there. But he was at Fort Hood when I was little.
Okay.
But that's just where his parents ended. They had a used furniture business there. And so my brother and I would spend a month every summer with them. No matter where we lived, they'd fly us to them. And we just always considered ourselves Texans. My parents both went to Hardin-Simmons, but I had an uncle that even though he went to Hardin-Simmons, he loved Baylor. Like he thought Baylor was the bee's knees. And so I thought, well, if he loves Baylor so much, then I think
must be great.
I should love Baylor so much. And so when it came time to decide where to go to school, we were actually in Alabama. I was like, well, I want to go to Baylor. And it's the only school I applied to, so thank goodness they let me in. But yeah, so then Waco kind of became home. But that's how I got here.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. And we're certainly glad you're here. You're doing such a wonderful job for the fair as their spokesperson. And, so many great sponsors. I mean, I know you'd like to list them all for everybody right now, but that might not be possible. But yeah, you do get a lot of support from local businesses.
We do. We're very grateful for that. There's definitely like some big ones. I'll give HEB a shout out and Alan Samuels and, Brazos Masonry and Bar None. Some of those have been with us for a long time, and they're in our top 20. They're very generous givers. They did not back down on us when 2020 happened, and we couldn't fulfill, the full amount of obligation inside of their contracts. And so we're very thankful and grateful for that. That's a lot of what helped us stay afloat. And so it is commitment like that from community partners that help us be successful and continue to march on and meet that mark of giving back to the students. Last year we had to go backwards a little bit, but not a lot. We probably went backwards about $20,000, and we gave out.
Well, that's not much.
No, in May we gave out 36 scholarships to kids to the tune of 137. Our top scholarship person got a $20,000 scholarship. And so, a huge part of how we make money is the fair and rodeo. That's our biggest fundraiser, if you will, as a nonprofit.
People may not realize that it raises money for scholarships for students. And are they ag students necessarily, or
so it's a combination. We really want to be able to affect everyone in the community. So during our livestock show, it is scholarships like through the calf scramble and all the other things. It is scholarships that are very specifically ag ag-based. But then also in May, we give out scholarships that are academic-based. So you may or may not have a tie from the agricultural side. It may just strictly be that you are a great community servant, you've made really great grades, and you've checked all these other boxes. And when we evaluate your application, it puts you kind of towards the top of the pile and you get a scholarship from us. So we really want to be able to reward all the kids. So those two aspects combined are what allow us to give about $250,000 to $300,000 a year. To date, we're just shy of $3.5 million.
I knew it was millions.
And we just want that. It started, I think, in 1991, and we're just hoping to continue growing. In my time, I'd love to see us get to giving $500,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So, we just got to double what we're doing. But that's okay.
That's all. But you can do it. No hill for a climber there. Oh, Sharva, it's so much fun to talk to you and to hear about the fair, which is just, the delightful time of the year in Central Texas. And again, how can folks get tickets and get a list? There's so much stuff.
There's a lot to do. So hotfair.com, we try to simplify it and make it easy there. There's a big button at the top that says tickets. And if you click that, you'll get several options until like the start of the show. We have some deals. We try to make it as affordable as we can for families.
Right.
So
it can get expensive.
Leading up to the day we open the gates, we offer some really extra special deals. But even when the gates open, we have daily promotions and things going on to make it as affordable as possible for all families to come and enjoy and experience. But hotfair.com is how you find all that out.
All right. Well, I will see you at the fair.
Awesome.
So glad to have you. Thank you, Sharva.
Thank you. It's so good to be here.
Central Texas Living is part of the Rogue Media Network family. Be sure to check out their other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate us 5 stars on iTunes and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Living, the podcast.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.